All right, Max, Kiss FM. All right, you're in Chicago, man.
You're in Chicago.
Well, thanks for coming to this one.
I love Chicago. I actually met my wife here, and I proposed to her here.
We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, it's a special city for me.
All right, so those who don't know you, you
Yeah,
actually did the acting thing first. You
Yes.
made the transition to music. Talk about that, man. How's that been?
Yeah, it's you know, I've always gotten to be able to do both, which has been cool. But you know, just a few years ago, I stopped doing the acting thing kind of cold turkey, so that I could just commit to music, because I had always been doing different musical projects and Nickelodeon stuff and whatever else, but when I did just more straight acting stuff, I realized that I wasn't as happy as I was when I had music in my life, and so it's always scary. You don't want to give up an opportunity when it feels like, oh, this is something great, but sometimes the best things in your life come when you do say no to an opportunity that might seem great but isn't for you. You got to know it in your gut. So for me, I'd love to do acting stuff one day again, but I'm the happiest I've ever been just being able to commit to music, even when it's the toughest, even when it's the most vicious world and lifestyle.
Yeah.
I know that there's nothing else I want to be doing.
Oh, interesting. All right, so Lights Down Low.
Yeah,
Single's huge. So, me being in radio, I heard this song last year. I actually heard it without Nash first, and then of course now, you know, I hear the verse with Nash. How did the whole Nash collaboration come about first?
Yeah. So I met Nash a few years ago, and we got along very well.
Yeah.
And we always were talking about doing something eventually. And at one point, a mentor of mine said, "Oh, I met that Nash guy the other day. Like, you guys should really do something. I feel like you guys are both emotional people, and it would be cool to see what would happen." And Lights Down Low had been out for a few months, and I somehow just had this moment where I heard his voice on it. It's like, I feel like sometimes that happens, like with a song called Wrong that was on my last record.
Yeah.
Lil Uzi was on it, and it was like these situations where I'm just like, this person, I can hear it. And so I kind of hit him up, and I wrote the song for my wife, and I proposed her with it, but at the time, our relationship was kind of secret. We weren't open about it publicly yet.
Wow.
And so nobody knew that that's what the story was behind the song. So I called him up and I said, "Hey man, you know, this is kind of out there, but you know, I have this song and I hear your voice on it, and this is the story behind it." And within that conversation, he just, you know, it was this organic moment where he just connected with that story so much so that the same day he wrote that verse that you hear on the record, and he recorded it, and nothing was changed, nothing different from what you hear on it now. So it was one of those very, you know, universe moments where it's just meant to be, kind of, and that's how he got on the record.
So, of course, you're in Chicago right now, and that song has a little connection with Chicago. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so my wife went to college here, and she lived here for like 7 years.
Okay.
And I was on tour with Fall Out Boy and Wiz Khalifa, and we were here for a week, which is very rare when you're on tour. You know, usually it's like day, boom, boom. And so our mutual best friend who I went to camp with said, "Oh, can I bring my friend out to your show?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, your hot British friend, totally, you can bring her out to my show." And so she brought her. We went on a few dates, and it was a switch went off. I knew she was it, and I was on tour for 2 more months, and so I knew though I feel like in life there's these moments where it's always going to be a tough decision. It's not going to be an easy thing. And in this moment, I realized I couldn't see her for months, and I knew she was it. So we'd only been on 3 dates, and I sent her a text. I said, "This is kind of crazy, but would you want to fly out to some shows like in North Carolina next weekend? Like, I'm so into you, and I'd love you to come out." And so she did. So we started having dates. She was crazy enough to do it. I was crazy enough to do it. So we had our second dates in the Carolinas, third dates in California, and it all started in Chicago. And we got, you know, married a little over a year ago, and that's how it all began. But it all started on the subway on Halloween in Chicago. We met for the first time.
That's crazy.
All that crazy stuff, man. So yeah.
Super. You know, I read in an interview with you that you did before that, you know, at one point you were in a different relationship and you couldn't get with the lifestyle, and you know how important is it now that you're married and, you know, you guys obviously, you know, tour together, looks like, you know. So how is that? I mean, is it tough with being from New York City, living in LA, doing the touring? How's that adjustment for her?
Oh, it's always hard. It's the beautiful thing I think about it is that it's easy in so many ways. It makes sense in every way, but it's never easy. You know, I mean, we live in a van on a blow up mattress, and there's a salt lamp and stuff like that. But you know, that's not I don't think that's anybody's ideal lifestyle.
Sure.
But we love it, and she's amazing, and we just we make it work. You always make it work, and so it's so awesome to have her on the road and get to explore these different cities together, places we just got back from Australia and places like that. It's amazing. So I love getting to adventure with her. We're really lucky to do that. But yeah, certain days when like you wake up at 1 a.m, you got to do a 9-hour drive,
right,
and then you're sleeping on the air mattress in the van, and you're not getting the best sleep, but it's a part of the adventure. So yeah,
right,
that's the real deal of it.
So people know you from doing YouTube covers, and did I read there was one point where you couldn't even put out your own music?
Yeah,
that was real life.
So that's why I did the YouTube covers. So I was in, the weird music business that I feel like some people don't always know is that I had a record deal from the Nickelodeon thing,
right?
And it was this weird limbo where I was signed, but I wasn't allowed to release anything original or anything. So that's how all things, they contribute to your life. So I started writing for other artists, and I did some stuff like Cody Simpson and people like that,
sure,
for TV shows, and so I would write songs for myself, but I couldn't release anything. So I found this loophole where as long as it wasn't original stuff, I could put it out. So I started putting out these covers because I needed to release. I wanted people to feel the style, and I met my good friend Kurt, and he kind of brought me into that world and was my guru, and is an amazing person. And so yeah, I just kept doing the cover thing. But it's really interesting because the cover world, I feel like it's such it puts you in a very specific box. It took me a long time to kind of get out of that box, but it's a beautiful thing as well because people are discovering your style through paying respect to other people's music, and it was wonderful to get to be a part of that world, and still always proud to be a part of it.
And I'd imagine a lot of those people that were fans from the covers have transitioned into being fans of the stuff too.
Oh, which is wonderful when you get real OGs who stick with it, whether
exactly.
Nickelodeon or covers or whatever. That's so beautiful because it's such a bizarre little path we've been on specifically. But it is interesting because sometimes we're like, oh man, do more covers and stuff. And I'm like, maybe something. Like sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
So I keep up with your Twitter a lot, and I see that one thing that's very important to you is equality.
Yes,
and having that at your shows. Have you seen that in the crowd, like the energy? I mean,
it's the best.
Talk about that, man.
It's the best. This is my first headliner in a few years, and a few years ago I was very way less guarded, I guess, about my beliefs and about even just my own style and personality. I was I would just say I was a little more insecure about it. Being married, it's given me the confidence, I would say, that has been incredible, because I don't care. As long as my wife's in, I don't care what people think, which is a beautiful feeling. It's very empowering. And so at this point, it's so wonderful because I do believe, I think that everybody should be able to love what they want to love, and it doesn't matter if you're gay, you're straight, you're bisexual, whatever it may be, you need to just be able to love who you want to love. And because in my situation, when you're comfortable with yourself, you reach your fullest potential, you do the things that you're really meant to do, I think. And so we always fight for that, and it's the coolest to see our shows have become this diverse, safe space, and that's all I ever want. I only want that to grow. I don't care about, it would be great to do arenas and stuff like that, but only if that community is the same. Only if it's the same diversity and safe space where anybody can come in, love who they want to love, whatever race, whatever religion. We want our shows to be a little world that you can feel safe in. So that's what we always fight for, and we've been seeing it, which is cool.
I know you love performing, so would you say, like, when we talk about goals, what's for Max in the near future? Yeah. You want to continue to do these shows? You want to get in the studio? Like what?
Yeah, but I mean, it's just I think it's just what we're trying to put out now on a grander scale would be awesome. I don't want it. I wouldn't. I've realized with Lights Down Low, it's been beautiful that it's had such a journey. Yeah. But I can't imagine just having some song that's meaningless be a big song. Like it's not worth it's not worth promoting. It's not worth fighting for if it doesn't have a message behind it. So it's been really quick. Having plaques for this song is what I've always dreamed of. This is all I've ever wanted. And I realized holding that plaque, man, if this didn't mean anything, if this were just some song, I wouldn't care if it were platinum, triple platinum. It doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. It has to be the depth and the fulfillment behind it. And so for me, all my goal is that we just keep growing this little thing we're doing. That's all I care about.
So collaborations.
Yeah.
Who are some of your inspirations? Who do you want to work with? What are you thinking?
I have a long list, but I got to work with Pharrell on a few records a few years ago. I'd love to do more with him. Yeah. I didn't get to release any of them. He actually released a song called Crave that we did, and then he put out, which was awesome. Okay. I'm trying to put some stuff out with him too. So Pharrell, I'm a JT fan for life, of course. Stevie Wonder would be amazing. It's been interesting because I do very emotional music, but even getting to work with Dre or people like that, combining the styles of I love hip hop, but like being able to put a little emotional pop twist into sort of a hip hop region would be pretty wonderful. And anyway, I could go on forever. I love collaboration. It's my favorite thing. I'm an only child, and I love being surrounded by people. And I think similarly for me, musically, I love creating with other people because they find something in you can never find in yourself.
Right.
Like I wrote this song, 10 Victoria's Secret Models, on the last record with Patrick Stump, who's the singer
Yeah.
for Fall Out Boy. And just the name alone, I just told him stories about when I first met my wife here in Chicago. It was years ago, and it was when we were both sort of dating other people, and it was on the train on Halloween, and she was dressed as Khaleesi and all this stuff, and I just told him this story, and I come back, he's like, go get some food, I want to think a little bit. I come back, and he's like, you said this thing, like if 10 Victoria's Secret models walked on that train, you wouldn't have taken your eyes off her. And I didn't even think I said that. I didn't even realize saying it. I probably just wanted to like make him laugh or something.
Yeah.
And that's a great example of, I think, when you find somebody, a true collaborator, they'll bring something out of you that you didn't even realize you said or thought or felt. And that's my favorite.
That's awesome. All right, so of course, with you being on tour and you doing a lot of tour stuff, craziest fan experience?
I would say the craziest one would be, we were in the Philippines, and we had just finished a show, and basically what happened was we got back from the show, and it was the first time I'd ever had like around the clock security guy, the whole thing, where it's like, yo, is this really necessary? Like, all right, but this is great, whatever.
Feeling like a boss, like, all right.
Yeah, and I get back, and basically what happens is I'm FaceTiming my wife, and I look up on the mirror, and in handwritten Sharpie, I see a message.
Hold on, in your room?
In my room, on my bathroom mirror.
Oh no!
And my heart sinks, and I'm like, oh my God, is there somebody in my room right now? Like, it looks like a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Like the beginning of a murder mystery. And so I go up to it. I have her on FaceTime, and it says, "Dear Max, if you want to see how we party here, come to the 4th floor lobby. First drink on us." And that's not even like a creepy message.
No.
But the creepiest part was just that it was in hand Sharpie.
Someone got your room.
They had to stand on the thing to do the Sharpie, and I was freaking out. So I bring my partner Ryan in, and he's like, I was like, maybe I'm overreacting. He's like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. We have to call security. And ironically, nobody came up. I called the front desk, and everybody was just like,
they blew it off.
Oh yeah, you're good. I'm sorry. And I find out that it was somebody who worked at the hotel who was a fan, and they asked the manager if this was a good idea, and they said, yeah, that sounds great.
So they thought you'd be into it, like, okay, I'm gonna go down to the 4th floor and see what's up.
Yeah, I definitely was not into it.
Yeah.
It's like, of all places, this hotel had like a guy with a machine gun at the front door. It was that vibe. So ironically, I've stayed at a million like Marriott's, Holiday Inns, like all that stuff, like the sleaziest hotels in America, like Motel 69, I call them, and that would never happen ever. You know, like
of course.
No manager's like, yo, yeah, tight, go in his room and like, put it on there. Not that Marriott's are not sleazy, by the way, just Motel 69s. I just wanted to retort that just in case, Marriott sponsorship was up. But anyway, so that was a very scary, but ended up being a hilarious experience.
All right, so we're Kiss FM, so I got 3 kiss it or diss it questions for you right now.
Give it to me, baby.
All right, kiss it or diss it. Eating a big steak dinner before you hit the stage.
Ooh, diss it. Yeah.
Can't do it?
Too much.
Too much. So what do you eat before you go?
It's interesting. I always have I just kind of trust my tummy, but I need to eat before it because I exude a lot of energy.
Right.
I think that's the right word. Anyway, I throw out a lot of energy, and basically I'll have like a protein bar, maybe some veggies, stuff like that. I can't eat too much, but I need something in my system, so steak dinner will probably not go so well.
After the show.
There'll be a lot of farts on the stage.
Yeah, right.
Cute.
After the show.
After the show.
Yeah. All right, second question. Kiss it or diss. You're gonna have your first child by 2020.
Oh.
Do you think that's coming?
That could happen.
You think so?
Like, probably not. Like, that's the earliest that it would happen, I would say. Yeah.
That's the earliest.
That's the earliest.
Baby in the future, eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I would say like 2022 earliest, probably.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
But we talk about it a lot. Like, we're ready to have kids now, but like, nah, we're not. We live in a van. Like, we're not ready for that.
That makes sense.
We have our fur baby, our dog, but otherwise, yeah. A baby right now, like us talking and my baby being in the corner, I'm not ready for that right now.
I got you.
But I can't wait to have a little smush. Like, I see little smushes on the street with my wife, and we're like, oh my God, I want to steal that smush.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, third one. Hearing lights down low on the radio.
Yeah.
Does it ever get old?
Nah, it's amazing. It's
No.
Again, it's like, and that's why when people are like, oh, what's the next one? It just has to mean that much. That's all that matters to me, because I can't imagine it being just some song that isn't as impactful impactful for my life or a message that we want to put out there. So yeah, it never gets old. It's so cool.
All right, Max.
Thanks for playing it.
Schubas tonight.
Yeah, baby.
And by the way, you were here last night, Halloween weekend, where people dressed up, man.
Oh yeah, I still have.
No,
I don't know if you noticed, but my wife put a little too much glue in my eyebrows, and I have some purple sparkles that will not come out. So yeah, it was great. We had lots of dress up. Some people, I guess, dressed up as us tonight. We've been doing this like portrait in New York, and they dressed up as the portrait. So it's all out. I love dressing up. It's fun.
Well, thanks for chatting with me, man.
Thanks
Appreciate
it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for playing.